It's the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Tune in. Tune in. Tune in. Tune in.
And so with deals of this size, like you have to have like a on-site property manager. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
it.
And honestly, and that's the benefit of multifamily. It's like you need a team of people. Like Jamiel and I, we're asset managing it. So we're handling, certain things within the rehab, particularly on the exterior of the apartment buildings. Then we have another guy that's kind of managing like the interior rehabs of the actual units. And we got another guy that's, he's like kind of above everything in terms of like he oversees it and he's the person that handles all the financials. Then we got other member that kind of sources other things and builds the relationships with the property managers. So it's like and then on top of that we have just capital partners that are just they're strictly just passive in the deal. So that's like the beauty of multifamily, honestly, is that it's usually a team of people, and it's a way that everyone can get to a common goal. And you just figure out what role you can play to make sure that you benefit the team. So yeah,
Definitely. And what's it been like for you two, just managing that part of it? Like I think you mentioned the exterior rehab. Like what's that been like, especially on something of this size, right? I mean, I'm sure you've done countless like 1 to 4 units, but what is it like, managing that for something of this size?
It's crazy even that's going pretty good. I mean, I think like the fire thing about, like you said, about multifamily, I'm realizing it forces you to play, especially for me, not so much Eric. If you ever look at Eric's like rehabs, they're flawless, right? I'm like a guy that I'm trying to save every penny kind of guy. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to I'm trying, like, especially in Detroit, man, I'm trying to like finagle everything, right? So when you go to multifamily, you can't do any of that, right? You need like people got to be licensed and bonded and insured. You need like, you want to have people that's done a lot of work. So I'm working with very high level contractors or people that specialize in things versus like my handy guy that kind of could, that say he know plumbing, but he ain't really a plumber, but I got him for a good price. I'm gonna have him work in my little single family home in Detroit, right? Which works, but when you're talking multifamily, you're getting these bigger companies, right? You're working with these big companies that have system and process and licensed insurers and experience, and they do things the right way. And if things don't go wrong, you have somebody you can talk to. It's just a totally different experience. So it's been going good because I feel like we're working with people that that can take on a 52 unit apartment, right? You can't get, your cousin Jojo and them to do everything in that apartment, right? You got to get the big boys out. So what that does is it's a little bit more, it's just a more well-oiled machine when you talk in regards to actually the asset management. So it's been going good. It's a lot of learning, right? Like I don't know about Eric, but I never have to do like asphalt much, right? I don't have to, like we're getting, a parking lot redid. Like I never had to do that in my single family homes, right? So it's some differences, obviously, or just it's a flat roof versus like a typical like a peak roof, whatever you want to call it. So there's obviously differences, and I learned a lot, and Eric as well. We both learned a lot through it. So there's differences, but I think the biggest thing is just the type of the companies you're working with versus like maybe you would in a single family home, right? I'm not out there, right, at all. Like I'm doing everything from my cell phone, which is pretty awesome.
yeah, it's definitely. I think like being that we're not self-managing, we have a property manager, so they handle a lot of the stuff that is real tedious, and the more of the like the squeaky wheels type of thing, and we're just managing contractors. And although you do deal with more like a lot of times like in single family you might deal with contractors that only take cash, or they don't have like a billing system, or they don't have invoices, or that type of, they don't do contracts. Whereas a lot of times with multifamily commercial you will see that, but some of it is the same. Like some of them still just don't operate the same way, but it's just I don't know. It's just you. I think you do come across a different caliber of contractor when they're used to working with multifamily investors versus a single family, for sure. So it is a lot easier. Like, so we're not hands on with a lot of stuff. Like, we're coordinating calls, and that's pretty much it.
Got it. Got it. So, Monopoly Bros, talk to us about the brand and just coming together to start it. Like, is this something that started after this apartment deal? Is it something that started before? And yeah, tell us all about it.
When was Atlanta afterwards, Eric? After the apartment deal?
No, it was in the middle of it.
It was in the middle of okay. So okay, got you. So yeah, right. So I think it started with honestly that event. I think me and Eric really realized that we need to like really like like we need to come together, use both our powers to make something big. And that's on a like apartment level, real estate level, also on the brand side. So it started back way into the event. So when August came, I think me and Eric we flew out to Atlanta for another like real estate event. And I think we because we were together a lot during that event, we got a lot of time to talk about like what do we want to like, what do we see ourselves as far as like us two teaming together? Like, should this be a brand? Should this be strictly just raising money? Like, and we kind of figured like we kind of knock out a few things at once. So during that event, we're coming with like a bunch of different names that we did not like at all. And then, after we closed this apartment building, I don't know how exactly it went, but I was telling Eric, like, man, what we doing is something very this is something that's just is different. Like, we both, if anybody really know our story, like we both started off with a single family home in the hood. Like, I started off, my first house was a $10,000 house on the west side of Detroit. Eric, you pay how much for $1,000 in the auction for your home in Detroit?
Yep.
Yeah, and so you think about that, and then that's like 2015, 2016, then we both start wholesaling, right? And then I began to house hack. So I got a duplex, and then Eric's buying buying more single family and duplexes. I'm buying another couple single family homes. And then we begin flipping, right? And then we do all those different things, and then we actually go out there and buy an apartment building. So I was thinking, I was just thinking one day, and I called Eric. I'm like, man, we out here playing Monopoly, bro. I think I called him like, we playing Monopoly out here, bro. Like, we literally start with one house, just like you were playing Monopoly. Then got a duplex and and then got a apartment. We're playing real life Monopoly. Like, this ain't no game. This ain't no we really doing it. And I was like, man, we should call ourselves like Monopoly. I don't know. I made it some crazy name, and then Eric like, I don't know about that, and we started kind of playing with this word Monopoly till I think he came with the bros part, I believe, or like because he feel like, man, we like brothers, like we really brothers for real. So I don't know if I want to add on to that, Eric, but I think that's kind of how like that story kind of came about.
No, that's literally how it came about. And yeah, he had actually texted me and just said Monopoly, and I just responded brothers, like, just because it
That's
was
what.
like we were already operating as brothers, like in the sense of that, and then we eventually just changed it to bros. But yeah, and then like honestly, to look back, like we've been partnering since our first home. Like, he had a home not too far from where I bought my first home, and we were partnering then. We were sharing resources and tools and leases back in 2016. And then we did wholesale deals together off a handshake in 2017, 2018. So we were already operating as partners anyway. And then, like I say, the apartment stuff came about, and he and I are very like-minded when it comes to that. And then the synergy between the two of us is it's like outside of business. I can call Jamiel and like, bro, I'm about to watch this battle tonight. You coming up, like, and we can have a time and do the outside of real estate. So it was a lot of things that made it just make perfect sense to just do it. And then like you said, when he started talking about like, you know, we're playing Monopoly because technically we are. It's like you get 4 houses and then you trade those in and then you get a hotel. And that's like, we had 4 houses and we traded them in and got a hotel. So it just, and then like say the more so the thought behind, we didn't do anything extravagant to do it. Like we're not trust fund babies. We didn't have, you know, someone giving us anything. We literally took the stairs to get to this point. So why not reach back and help those who are in similar situations? Because it's a lot of people that come from that type of, like, nothing was given to us. So that means anybody can do it. So why not build a brand to talk about that and show that?
Definitely. And you know what I really appreciate and what, you know, is so inspiring is to see 2 people who look like us work together, because, you know, a lot of times many people in our community don't want to work together. And if you can find the right partnership, it can really take things to the next level, right? I'm pretty sure this deal wouldn't have happened, or maybe it would have taken a lot longer if it was one of you trying to do it yourself with the group and so forth. However, throughout this whole story, you've talked about just the different strengths you 2 came with and the different things you bought to making this deal happen for you and the whole team. So, you know, I think it's powerful that you 2 are working together to bring the things forward. And, you know, I would love to hear more about just some of the goals that you 2 have for the Monopoly Bros.
Are you looking for a community of like-minded individuals and access to experts in real estate?
Yeah.
Are you interested in real estate but need more support and guidance?
You know who it is?
The Black Real Estate Dialogue presents the Real Estate Investing Community. No matter how much or how little real estate experience you have, we've created a community for you because your perspective is important. All right, tell me, where's the #1 place where you can do Q&A with experienced guest speakers 2 times per month? How about unlimited access to past guest speakers' recordings? What about a private Slack channel to engage in daily discussion with everybody in the community to share resources and support each other? Head on over to blackrealestatedialogue.com. That's blackrealestatedialogue.com. It's the real estate investing community presented by the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Come join us today.
Talk about managing that many projects, managing teams. How do you do it?
Yeah, so one, first and foremost, and this is just for anybody watching this, start out with your 1 or your 2. It's like when you're boxing, you're getting your form down first before you start throwing all the fast punches. You're getting your 1, 2 as slow as possible, and then you start throwing them fast. You know, understand the process. Okay, we're going to have to demo this property out. Then we have to get the any structural issues, any masonry done. Then we're gonna go ahead and frame. Then we're gonna go ahead and do the plumbing. Then we're gonna do the HVAC. Then we're gonna do the electric. Then we're gonna go ahead and then we understand the process and the fundamentals first. Because other than that, if you don't understand the fundamentals of one project, you're going to be fully scrambled trying to do 10 at the same time. So that's the biggest thing for anybody watching. But also, too, as you're building up the fundamentals on one house at a time, you're going to understand and develop what kind of crew you have, what kind of contracts you have, and what kind of systems that you have, and what kind of, doing construction is nothing but babysitting grown men. I don't know if I'm the first to say it, but I'm going to be one to say it. All you're doing is babysitting grown men. Grown men that's saying like, hey, I'll be done on this day on Friday. Can you make sure I get paid on Friday because I'm going on vacation this weekend and I want to make sure I got my money before I go on vacation. Not in a way where they're saying that you don't pay them on time, but they just like throwing it out there like, hey, look, listen, my plane leaves at 5. You think I can get it at 2? Like, handling stuff like that. They're not showing up to the job site because, their car broke there. Like, just babysitting grown men. So you understand what kind of guys come up on time, what kind of guys don't show up on time, what kind of guys are cheaper, what kind of guys are more expensive. You understand who's really good at this and who's just good enough to get the job done. You start to understand your guys as you're working on the one house at a time. And then you start separating your crews. Like I have a crew that is like elite. Like I don't have to go to their house at all. They can send me pictures. And then you got another crew where they can get the job done, but you got to be there to monitor, to make sure that they're not half-stepping. You got some guys that get it done, but they better when you're watching them. They work harder when you're watching them. And you got some guys that they're going to work hard whether you there or not because they take pride in it. So not to say you can't use either or, but you just understand what you got to do. Hey, that crew is working it. Let me go check on this house. That crew is working it. I can take a week off. I'll check on it. Or they can just send me pictures. I trust their work. So as you're doing your 1 hour at a time, then you develop the skill, understand what kind of guys you have and things like that. And then the third part that helps managing a bunch of projects is understanding what kind of systems and what kind of things you do. So for example, as simple as paint color, all my houses get the same paint. All my houses get the same paint. And then I have a pro account at Sherman-Williams and I use the same painter. So now he knows to go to Sherman-Williams, pick up the bucket, the 5 gallon or multiple 5 gallons of paint that I do. I paint all my houses white. I paint the front doors orange. It's called copper wire. So now he knows to pick up the white, pick up the copper wire, go to the house, move on to the next house. He knows what's going on. He charges it to the account. Then the bill comes to me later on, and then I pay it. It's a system. I don't need to check him. I don't need to monitor him. He knows what to do. He knows how it's done. Even down to cabinets, to get the same. Like when you start developing a system, it's easier to manage a bunch of projects because all of them are getting the same thing. My electrician knows exactly where I want the outlets to go, where I want TV outlets to go, to the point I don't need to tell him make the TV wall on this side of the room. He knows what I want. He knows how it goes. I don't have to monitor him. I don't have to check it. And once you, long story short, once you get your systems together, understand how you like your houses. Now your guys know how you like your houses. So now they can just maneuver, and it's easier when everybody knows the same goal. So you don't have to really sit. A lot of times people have a problem leading and managing because they don't know what they want. Mm-hmm. I have a clear vision of what I want and how I want this house to look specifically. And I share that vision to every other individual that is working with me. And then I also say working for me, working with me. We're all building this house together. And once they know the vision, it makes it a lot easier because now everything works smoothly. And then also you have your elite guys. Like I have 2 guys that have credit cards. Mm-hmm. And then my painter has the pro account. They don't need me to go ahead and buy material. They can go ahead and pick that stuff up, pick the stuff up on their own, give me courtesy. Let me know what you're about to buy. If it's about to be $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. But if it's 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks, let me know what you bought, but go ahead and grab it so we can keep it going.
Hi everyone, Sam here from the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Make sure to hit that notification bell and that subscribe button and to visit us at blackrealestatedialogue.com.